If you thought Katy Perry was nauseating before, you ain't seen nothing yet. The starlet in her 40s is suing a man who has dementia and twisting the screws into the lawsuit, even infuriating the court. Folks, it's one of the most sordid celebrity tales we've had on the channel, and we'll tell it right now. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy as ever to have you joining us on a Friday, but it is not a happy Friday for Katy Perry, for she is being exposed today for the very bad person that she must be. Marvin Montanaro, though, is a great person, and he's, well, we're grateful that you're here, Marvin.
I'm grateful to be here. Any chance we have to dunk on the ridiculousness that is Katy Perry and everything that she seems to be doing in life lately is always a welcome break for my Friday.
Yeah, and the problem here is going to be, Marvin, that it's a pattern for Katy. This is not a bad day. She's been doing this, and it really speaks to her character in a way that, I mean, there are lots of bad celebrities. This one sucks, and so Marvin, I want to apologize. I'm going to make you mad, okay?
It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Folks, click the like button.
My best work.
Let's get ready. We both may have some rants on this one. We're going to go back in the time machine for just a minute because I need to tell people what this is all about. This is from In Touch, and it was from 2024. Katy Perry called out for demanding a $5.5 million lawsuit from 85-year-old disabled veteran. This was bad when it came out, and we all thought, you know, there are legal teams that battle each other and all this kind of stuff. It ultimately comes down to this guy, Carl Westcott, and these are all very rich people. They all have teams around them and lawyers, and they do the lawyer stuff. I'm going to tell you where this gets ugly in just a second. But it says, Katy Perry was called out for demanding millions in damages from an 85-year-old disabled veteran. In Touch can exclusively report, according to court documents obtained by In Touch, Katy, who was then 39, believes she's owed over $5.5 million from Carl Westcott. His team scoffed at the request and are questioning the numbers she submitted. All right, let's go to today now, and get ready, folks, because this gets bad. Katy Perry to take stand in court battle with U.S. veteran after judge blasts the proceedings as outrageous. Perry, who is now seeking $4.8 million in damages, is set to take the stand on August 26th as part of the penalty phase. Okay, so we could read this article straight, but this is one of those very rare times when I need to do it in reverse. I need to go to the bottom of the article, and then we'll come back up. We're not going to confuse you folks, but there's something at the bottom of the article that really needs to be seen, okay? So here's what we got to get to. If we go all the way down to nearly the bottom, there's some testimony here from the family of the disabled veteran who Katy Perry is wanting millions and millions of dollars out of. And here's what it says. We never, ever, ever even wanted to have to go to court, said Cameron, who is married to Carl's son, Court. I mean, to be honest, we all always wanted to settle with her, and we never wanted to be in this position. Especially when my father-in-law has Huntington's disease and dementia. This is the last thing we wanted to do and deal with. So what is this about? Now let's scroll up, because everybody needed to know what it is we're dealing with, okay? And this is buried at the bottom of the article. The family is declaring it. We're not outing anything. Katy Perry is suing a military veteran who has dementia. Okay, what is she suing over, and what is it that she wants money for? It says, after a 5-year feud with Westcott family over her $15 million mansion, Katy Perry is gearing up to take the stand on August 26th. Carl Westcott, a U.S. Army veteran and the founder of 1-800-Flowers, filed a lawsuit in 2020 against Perry's business manager, Bernie Goodvie, who was representing her after attempting to rescind the deal he made to sell his 8.9-acre estate to Perry for $15 million. Westcott had reportedly purchased the home 2 months earlier for roughly $11 million. At the time, Carl sought a rescission of contract after claiming he lacked the capacity to sign the transaction due to a recent surgery and a brain disorder. What's the brain disorder? Huntington's disease, which is a neurological, what do I say here? You lose faculties, okay? Well, it's not a pleasant thing. We'll just say that. And then dementia. So this guy, after surgery, signed a contract signing over a mansion. And listen, there are lawyers involved, Marvin, and all of that kind of stuff. I got it. I think Katy Perry, it's ugly, but she probably is owed the mansion, even though it's super unfortunate that teams of lawyers allowed somebody with neurological conditions to sign. Okay. And the family realized it, said, oh no, what has happened? Got it. Okay. Still, that's ultra, unfortunate. And it's something out of the movies, but she probably does get the mansion. The problem I have, and we'll get into this in a little bit, is that's not enough for Katy Perry. Again, this is a military veteran who has dementia. Marvin, she's seeking damages to punish them. This is why it's gone to court. This is why the family, because she's seeking damages. And here's what I'm going to say about this. And I'm going to let you hop in and just go off on this. In a normal situation, maybe you say, oh, well, the things are not right. And even though we had teams of lawyers, the property wasn't what we expected, and I don't want to get into the weeds of how this works when you sell something this expensive, but I mean, it's not like buying a normal home. There are teams and teams and teams of inspectors and people who check everything. Okay. But whatever. Here's the problem for Katy Perry. And this is what speaks to who she is, Marvin. Somebody somewhere should have said to Katy Perry, listen, you are a multi-millionaire. This man is a veteran with dementia who they're alleging it was a mistake that he signed the contract because he's got dementia. Whatever you think about this, Katy, you will lose the PR battle. And Katy Perry said, screw that, punish them. Good Lord, Marvin. Why would a star not say, we're going to have grace here because I'm going to come across as the worst human on earth if I try to punish somebody for millions of dollars who has dementia?
That is the most infuriating thing I've ever heard. This woman has, and I just looked it up, a net worth of $350 million. She's getting the mansion. She's getting what she wants. Why do you have to take a man who served his country, a man who has a neurological condition, who you can say, you can make a valid, case for, even if, unknowingly you took advantage of him because he was not all there and in a position where he could have signed a contract willfully, and now you're seeking damages of what is, for you a drop in the hat, $4.8 million or $5 million, whatever it is. That's absurd. That is absolutely absurd. At what point does a publicist not take her off to the side and be like, you need to not do this? Like right. She has a brand that's built on just being this wholesome, kind person, and just repeatedly exposes herself as just this monster underneath that skin. I mean, like she is the kind of person who will donate. I remember I think it was her. She donated $1 million to charity, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's great." But then, immediately, she had Disney give her the Disney Dream Suite in Cinderella Castle for the night, which is normally reserved for kids with cancer. It was utterly insane. How she manages to take every good thing she does and turn it around to somehow make her the villain.
Katy Perry, Marvin, is kind of like the person when you say, we got to get the kids out of the pool. There's a thunderstorm on the horizon. Let's get the kids out of the pool. And she's like, I know what to do. Let's drop sharks in there. Folks, take a look at this. This is out of the article. And I'm not going to get into the weeds of the rightness or wrongness of the law. I just want to say, I don't know the full details of how somebody with brain disorders signed off on a $15 million deal. There are attorneys and there's next of kin issues and all of that. And who is the executor on estates. I don't know those details. The court, I think, has agreed Katy Perry should get the mansion. That's fine. What I'm saying is this is a PR disaster and it gets worse. Marvin says, how? How can it get worse than this? Well, let's read along. On this past Thursday, yesterday, Judge Lipner criticized Perry's legal team after it attempted to get the fireworks singer to testify in a Los Angeles court that day, which was a request to essentially move Perry's testimony up and out of a scheduled order in the 6-day trial. Perry's lawyers noted that the musician preferred to go by her real name, Catherine Hudson, and apologized for last-minute scheduling concerns, stating that they were unaware of the singer's availability due to her demanding tour schedule. That's outrageous, the judge said. She's only allowed to testify today. It doesn't reflect well on you. It doesn't reflect well on Miss Hudson. It's not nice. It's not right. Mm-hmm. Perry, who is 40, embarked on the Lifetimes tour in April and is scheduled to wrap up the U.S. leg on Saturday. They said, we learned only fairly recently what her availability was, today and tomorrow, and that's probably it. They're basically, here's what the judge says. They're basically saying she should testify out of order today. I can order her back, and if they don't produce her, you can be angry. I don't like the strategy tactics on her side. She may be called back again for another hour at a second date. So here's what they did. Katy Perry, who is suing, again, a man with dementia who served the country, Katy Perry suing them for damages for millions of dollars. And essentially what this means is she's suing the family, right? Because when you're a person with dementia, we're now dealing with the family consequences. Okay. So what they did, Marvin, is that the legal team waited until the day of or the day before to say, hey, she's not going to be here to testify on this thing that she's supposed to be here to testify about. She is the main person. She's the person bringing the suit. She's the one upending their lives. She's not going to be here. And why? Well, because gosh darn it, we just didn't know that she had these pre-scheduled tour dates that have been out there forever for people. Like, how did people sign up for the concerts and them not know this? And so this is, to me, this is absolutely dirty. And the problem with it is, it's not her going up against just, Joe Schmo or whatever, it's her going up somebody, a veteran with dementia, and still pulling dirty tricks while trying to get money out of the family. This is gross, Marvin.
It really is. It really speaks to the kind of person that she is, to the kind of greed that she has. It's just like, you're already getting what you want. Why do you need the concept of damages from somebody with a net worth of $350 million? It's absurd. It's completely absurd. And you hit the nail on the head. It is meant to punish. It is not meant to help her in any way, shape, or form. It is meant to punish the people that she is mad at. And I'm like, she makes everything that she does into something outrageous or offensive, or that in some way reflects poorly on her. The fact that she has any fans at this point is shocking to me. She's just an absolute mess of a human being, and this is one of the worst stories I've ever heard.
So what is she trying to punish the family with? What are the damages? The $4.8 million in damages. Here's what she's claiming: $2 million for damages to the property. Those damages are structural defects, and I can't make any claim to this. All I can tell you is that properties this expensive, there are teams of people who watch over them, who assess them, who inspect them. So I don't know, folks, but she's claiming that there's structural defects. Could be deferred maintenance. Why was there deferred maintenance? Because there was a question of ownership, right? Because she sued, because he wanted to rescind the contract, so she's citing deferred maintenance because during the time when when the family said, he really doesn't have the faculty to make that decision. So deferred maintenance and lost rental income. Marvin,
is she renting it out?
The claim here is
she's turning into an Airbnb.
The claim here is that a $15 million. This is where, you got to be a special level of lowdown. Katy Perry. I'm afraid the sharks that danced beside you in the Super Bowl were afraid. I mean, man, oh man, you lost rental income on a $15 million home during the period of time when the family said, hey, he's got dementia. He can't sign this. I mean, wow, that is impressive.
But also, what you said, but structural damages, like to sell a property of this magnitude, the number of inspections that this place would have had to go through is immense. How would they not find structural damages? At that point, if there are structural damages, that's on you.
I don't know.
At that point, sue the inspector.
I can't get into that. Maybe somebody had a bad day. Maybe a vagrant or, somebody came in there and did some damages and she thinks that it's, on them to fix it. I don't know. All that stuff's messy. All I can tell you is, Katy, you don't need the millions of dollars in lost rental income to have the headlines you're facing. The headlines you're facing and the videos that are going to be made about this are way, way worse than the lost rental income. Like, let the rental income, if it's even real, let the rental income go, because now you got this on Fox News. So, Katy, you lose. Eat the thing. I don't even know if it's real losses, but, you don't have to. It's like she's like a heavyweight champ, going up against somebody who has no arms or legs. Like, stop it, Katy, stop it.
Seriously.
Jeez Louise. And in that reference, folks, I'm not talking about the veteran. I'm talking about the family. Like, this is the family now. Imagine the emotional harm this brings to them. The person has dementia, and they're being pulled into court for what will eventually be their inheritance that they're trying to defend now. Good grief, lady.
And also, if the person had dementia, then how can you really hold them to, any structural damages? They might not have known they were there. It's not like you can't make the argument that they willfully, I don't know.
I'm sure, Marvin, when it's this big, I'm sure like it's a company or it's an LLC or something that owns the home technically and all that. It's very convoluted. I'll just tell you this. Whoever is managing her, you've either lost control of her or you're the worst PR person in the world and she should fire you tomorrow and fire the legal team. That's just layperson assessment there. But I'll tell you this, Katy Perry, her career is crashing. And if you want to really, if you just want to bury the rubble of the crash and be forgotten, this is the way to do it, because that's impressive. We don't get to cover stories this bad very often with celebrities because somebody somewhere manages them and says, no, I don't care if you're a narcissist, cut it out. All right, folks. We're going to cut out right now, but we need you to click that like button, share and subscribe. Click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And Marvin Montanaro is the man you need over at thatparkplace.com with all the stories that are 1 day or 2 days or sometimes weeks and months ahead of what the drive-bys know. Marvin, tell the folks out there, though, about an additional show you have on YouTube.
Well, Tooneytown TV, my YouTube channel, you can go check it out, guys. We have a new video that just came up today about Disney seeking men and boys back after pushing them away from Marvel and Star Wars. So go check that out. We also have Toonie Talk TV every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself, Lauren Connor, Kevin Apollo, Trish, Martin Stone, Nolan Thunder. It's always a good time.
There you go, folks. I concur. It is a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you soon. More videos on the way every single day, 4 times at least. And we can't wait to bring you what you need to know in the Hollywood halls of Hollyweird. Click on the link down below for Tooneytown TV and wrestling, and you'll be able to check out Marvin's stuff. Folks, that's enough for now. We'll see you real soon. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Oh, yeah. Can't believe I made it. This thing is great. And now I have my own emoji on WDW Pro's channel.
Right? Hey, everyone's been wanting me for ever. But just remember, you're like a pity vote.
Thanks.
By the way, do you want me to turn on the bubbles?
They are on. Aren't they?